remember when we first watched this. In my mind, this is how the show opened.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Just this is how I remember Nitro opening when we first watched it. But obviously, I was wrong. But this is when the show really begins, to be honest. So a limo pulls up, and out step the Wolfpac, looking pissed off.
Yeah, Luger steps out of the limousine, the first member of the Wolfpack step out, and the crowd go mental just for realizing that the Wolfpack are at the building.
I would venture to say that, well, there's Luger coming out. K-Dog. That's some serious look on some faces right there. And there's Sting. A man who will face Bret Hart tonight.
Guys just look like they mean business. They look like they're there to kick some ass and take some names.
It's a nice touch just having the luchadors in the back, just in like clothes with their masks on.
Yeah,
there's just like Parker there. He's just got like a polo shirt and jeans on with his mask on. It's quite funny.
Yeah. So the Wolfpack carry on going through. They turn down some corridors. I like the way they don't just immediately walk to the place they're meant to walk to. They do a couple of turn backs, like they don't actually know where they're meant to be going, and they're not sure where they're going. They go down this corridor. As they are about to turn to a room, Kevin Nash turns back to the Wolfpack members and tells them to be quiet, which I thought was a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
Which he immediately ruins when he walks in the room and just goes, "What's up, dog?"
What's up, dog? Something's going on.
But yeah, so they basically go into the NWO locker room to attack them, and it's amazing. It's just a badass. So this is actually, I was going to get on this. So it's just a big fight, right? That's all it is. It's just a big fight. Lots of punches being thrown. Sting slams Vincent into a dressing room mirror.
Yeah.
First thing, and you hear it smash. You have lots of guys just choking each other and fighting. Very quickly, you have security intervene and try and stop it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. It's just the best. It's just a very real fight as well, because like in fights in real life, right? If anyone's ever seen one, quite often it isn't like a fight has a beginning and end. There's bits in there with it, especially big groups of people, where after maybe 30 seconds or a minute of people swinging for each other and stuff, you will just have people standing away from the fight, even though they're involved in it, kind of just being like standing there a bit gormless, not really knowing what they should be doing.
You're right. When there are like huge, big gang fights, one like gang on gang fights, that you will have little pockets fighting, and then people will peel off from little pockets and end up. You're right, just sort of hovering.
Yeah, just to have like a 20-second, just like a 20-second breather where they're surveying it. Like, what the hell's going on? And then they'll dive back in.
Especially if you've got people trying to separate the fight as well. Like, you'll end up
absolutely.
Fight and trying to get back into the fight. It's I have to say, I thought, and this was throughout this whole night, and it's probably been, to be fair, it is probably just a WCW thing, right? Because it's quite cowboyish. But that really works because they do really good, like, guerrilla style filming in the back, where it's just a guy chasing another group of guys. Like, there's no profession. It's not like, oh, they're running into another room, cut to the camera that we have set up in the other room.
Yeah.
That's then going to film that next part of the scene. WCW was it's just a guy with a camera, or a couple of guys with cameras. You might have a few different camera angles, but they're just guys with probably cameras with big wires trailing behind them.
Yeah.
Running around backstage.
Well, I get the impression that what they probably said to the cameraman was, look, stay with Sting.
Yeah.
Like, if you see him walk away, follow him. But apart from that, you just have this one guy with a camera. You know what this actually reminded me of? And I'm not saying it's to the same level or anything. You know Daredevil?
Mm-hmm.
You know how it's famous for the one-shot corridor fight scenes?
Yeah, holy shit, you're right. Yeah.
This was it.
Old boy. It's the old boy of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
A병 손들어라. 어서 가라. 피 많이 흘렸다.
just one shot for like 4.5 minutes following through. You have people coming in and out of the fight. It's really great. At one point, when the cops are involved, there are some funny moments in this. Like someone turns the light off by mistake, and then the light gets switched on, but it feels really natural. Like this would just happen in a brawl. Scott Steiner just at one point pushes a female cop.
Yeah.
He just grabs her and pushes her because he's Scott Steiner.
It feels like an actual ruck because, like you said, in real fights as well. This is the problem with modern wrestling of all sorts, not just WWE. AEW is guilty of it as well. Everything is too. You think about everything too hard. In a real fight, not everything looks crisp. There are moments when people
will trip over and stuff. Yeah,
wandering around. Yeah. There are moments when there's like two guys just kicking the crap out of another guy, and like, you know what I mean? Like there are, it is just chaotic, and
yeah,
like, you know, like you see in this, like there's a moment when you know, like Stevie Ray comes up behind Sting, and he just turns around and manages to block a punch and hit him.
That moment, right? I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about that. There's a moment where Sting's fighting someone, and Stevie Ray turns Sting around to swing at him. I think Sting has the greatest blocked punch in wrestling.
Yeah.
He's not good at blocking baseball bats.
Well, Sting was supposed to stop the bat. He didn't have his hands together. They were apart. So the bat went right down between his hands and hit him right on the head. And his head exploded. Blood was shooting everywhere. He had to get 20 stitches in his head. And I was like, fudge.
I'm sure you were.
I thought I knocked him out. I mean, his head, it had a loud clunk, like it was really loud.
But yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up because that was such a good moment where Stevie Ray proper swings at him and he blocks it right at the last second and carries on.
Yeah.
It looked really real.
I quite like the fact that when Giant run in, they actually went, "Oh, the Giant's here," and I thought, "Oh, that's cool. You should make a big deal about that. If
yeah.
Involved in this, that should be mentioned specifically." Another little thing. Now I quite like. I've just been saying about how it's great, about how it's all chaotic and stuff like that. Why the fuck is Buff Bagwell wearing red in this? It's really annoying. He shouldn't be allowed to do that. Like that's a really obvious thing where it's like, look, man, that we have a color thing going. Like it's a theme. You know, I mean, like let's not fuck it. I know it's meant to be like, oh, he's just got here. Where then make Buff Bagwell a character that only wears white baseball caps instead of red ones. Like, don't wear red.
And the red plaid shirt. Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
That was just annoying because it was just thoughtless and it's like obvious. Like it's like someone surely if I was the producer of this show, as soon as he walked on screen, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like immediately I'd be like, who the hell let this happen?
Or just someone, even just a little thing of like, take off the hat and you just wear your trousers.
Yeah.
Like it's all right. You can just be topless. You're a wrestler. But yeah, so Nash and Conan come back into it, beat up Steiner and Bagwell, and it carries on with Sting. Sting's looking for someone. Who's looking for? We think he's looking for Bret Hart. And again, he doesn't go to the first door. He opens a couple of doors, looks around, and then opens a door, and you just see Sting rush in, and there's Bret Hart sitting there.
Got it, Bret Hart! Oh, would you listen to those right hands? What a fight!
And these punches that Sting hits Bret Hart with look like some. I mean, Bret Hart. This is Bret Hart as well. His selling of these punches. Sting hits him with like 3 punches, and Bret Hart flings himself back into the wall. It's like he's just been proper socked. He starts fighting back. He grabs his head, slams it into a door. Looks great.
Yeah. It
spills out into the corridor again, and I think at that point is when the security jump in the way and actually break people up, and then it cuts to a break, doesn't it? That was the first sort of 4.5 minute. First segment.
So it goes to commercial break, cuts back, and we're immediately back with the Wolfpac, and we are now walking to the parking lot area.
Sting jumps on a forklift. What's Sting doing? And the crowd, you can hear the crowd reacting to all of this. Like, holy crap, he's on a freaking forklift. The commentators are doing a great job as well, selling this. Like, what the hell is Sting doing on a forklift? He grabs what is meant to be the NWO limousine, picks it up, throws it over, so it's on its back, lands on its roof.
Trying to destroy this limousine! He's picking it up!
Look at that! At least he didn't scratch it up with a key.
And look on the other side.
Be careful.
Kevin Nash pounding it with a sledgehammer or some sort of device. Never before he's going to drop it. He's going to drop the. Oh my! Oh my goodness!
Takes care of that. 100,000.
The rest of the Wolfpac members suddenly appear with sledgehammers. Although, who was it? Nash. Yes, they all start hitting the car with sledgehammers. To which I think Tony Schiavone is the one that says,
Kevin Nash pounding it with a sledgehammer or some sort of device.
"What device would it be,
Some
Tony?
sort of device.
Some sort of device. It's a hammer. What the fuck are you talking about?" But yeah, so then the NWO the Wolfpac starts smashing all the windows out and just smashing the headlights out. I have to say, actually, when I was watching this, and obviously don't think I thought about it when I was watching it as a kid, but I was watching this thinking Sting's doing very well
Yeah.
using this
That's what I was going to say. I wonder if he's
yeah.
got a fucking forklift license or something because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it was superb. Like, he picked it up, he lifted it right up, spun it over. So yeah, it was amazing.
I mean, even if he got a bit of a crash course, I wouldn't know. If someone said, "Here, Alex, here's a forklift, do that thing that he did," I'd be like, I don't have a fucking clue when it was start.
And especially with right, cameras are rolling now, and you'd be like, "Oh, well, what button was it?" Oh god, you know what I mean?
So he gets it up, and the image is brilliant. And because it's all still the one shot, it's just the guy aiming up, and it looks like it's a million miles in the air, this fucking car. And and it starts teetering forward. But before it gets to its actual peak, Kevin Nash runs around that side of the thing. You've got a professional wrestler in this thing who is in complete control of whether or not this car suddenly falls. And Kevin Nash thinks that it's a good idea to run around that side of the car where it's going to fall and start hitting it with the hammer, right? And you hear Bobby Heenan say,
Be careful.
I don't think he's commentating. I think he's just speaking, like, you know what I mean? I think he's just
genuinely, be careful, Nash.
just be careful. Like, I don't really. But can you imagine, like, you look at the 90s and all the awful, like, crazy shit that happened, like, and like the massive lack of health and safety in comparison to now. Can you imagine that? Kevin Nash wouldn't be doing a podcast now because he's never been forgotten as the man who was crushed by a limousine, by a falling limousine on Monday Nitro. Like, it's so dangerous the way he, like, I saw him and I went, "Fuck off, get out of the way, cunt." But yeah, that was mental. And then so he then drops the limo and they all then start just smashing the shit out of it. Sting decides he wants to cut the tires, which seems a bit redundant now that the whole thing's upside down. I don't know that that's necessarily, like, essential. But even
but it was a nice. It was a nice visual. Yeah.
He says, "Hey, Kev. Hey, sexy."
Yeah. Knife.
Virtually a symbol of Hollywood Hogan, of NWO Hollywood, the arrival of the limousine.
Sexy. Hey, knife. Hey, knife.
Maybe it's just a different culture. Like, if I was out in the street and someone said to me, "Excuse me, mate," and I went, "Yeah," and they went, "You got a knife I can borrow?" I'd go, "No, you fucking maniac. Why would I be carrying around a knife?"
It is a bit kind of, I mean, especially in the US, if someone suddenly went, "Hey, 7 foot tall, 300-pound guy, pass me your knife," he's getting tasered at minimum. You know what I mean? Like, all these cops standing around. No, they're pulling out their guns. As soon as this guy says, "Yeah, let me just give you my..." Well, before then, even whereas sledgehammers, no, they're all getting put down.
Knife.
Obviously, last week, the Wolfpac got absolutely destroyed. And this is their kind of retribution week. But it's very much kind of, kind of the old thing of, like, gangs where, like, yeah, you put one of ours in the hospital, we put one of yours in the morgue kind of thing. Yeah. It felt like that. Like, you did this last week to us, we'll get you back this week. This whole segment is one of the best wrestling segments of all time.
100%. It's one of the things that I will always, if someone said to me, "Oh, can you tell me about a show that you saw that makes you a wrestling fan today?" this is one of those things that I saw when I was a kid that like impacted me, that I saw that I was like, this is one of the most amazing things I have ever seen. Like, it really had an impact on me watching it as a youngster. One of the, like we were saying about the Flair return, you know, the Horseman return.
Yeah.
In one of the top 5, top 10. This is top 5 for me. Top 5 nights
I agree.
of all time.
Yeah, I completely agree.